Game changer sports talk in the street sports with your boy DeeTrynt. What's really good today, man? How I'm feeling today? All right, I'm feeling a little all over the place. All right, college football kicked off yesterday. It's 6 days before NFL kickoff. NBA preseason 14 days away. I mean, it's time, you know. This is the time of year that most of us sports fanatics all look forward to. It's the fall. Okay? Summer is over, right? Kids going back to school. You know, depending on where you at in the country or even in the world, you're getting ready for the winter season. It's time for scarves and hats, and long johns, and all that, all right? But we're here to talk about these sports, all right? So 4 games on the college football NCAA kicked off last night, featuring Ohio State. All right, O State come in ranked number 3, number 4, depending on what you're looking at. All right, a lot of new faces on Ohio State this year, especially at the quarterback position. They lost a 2-year starter, Justin Fields. He is now a Chicago Bear. He'll probably be starting. Who knows? You know, the Bears, they don't know what they want to do. Honestly, I think it's smart to not start the rookie off top because they don't have an offensive line. But Justin Fields left his mark, and that's going to be a hard act to follow with these Oak State Buckeyes. C.J. Stroud is the guy who earned the right to take over. And what did he do in his debut? Well, C.J. Stroud leads Ohio State over the Minnesota Golden Gophers, 45-31. As you can see, this is a high-scoring affair. So just off that alone, we see Ohio State defense going to need some work, all right? I mean, Minnesota looked good last night, though. But C.J. Stroud, he goes 13 for 22, 294 yards, 13.4 yards of completion, 4 touchdowns, an interception. All right, you got Marcus Williams, running back, 9 carries, 125 yards, 13.9 a carry, almost 14 a carry for a TD. Broke for a 71-yarder to get a Buckeyes their first score. Master Teague, a guy who was making some noise last year behind Trey Sermon coming in and spell action. He had 6 carries for like 29 yards. The number 1 receiver for O State. Now, you can argue who the number 1 is, but it really ain't no debate. All right, Chris Olave. Yeah, Olave. Make sure I say his name right. And he was going to come out last year, but he came back, said he's going to play another year. But he had a nice night last night, all right? 4 catches, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 29.3 a reception. Garrett Wilson, he had 5 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. Travion Henderson also had 1 catch for 70 yards for a touchdown. O State offense looked like it could become something. I really think Master Teague is going to play a lot more and a lot better. And I also think they have a nice receiving corps. So the Golden Gophers, though, they did their thing, all right. They led by quarterback Tanner Morgan. He went 14 for 25 last night, 205 yards, 8.2 average of reception, a completion, I should say, 1 touchdown. Their running back, Muhammad Ibrahim, he really had a good game last night. All right, 30 carries, 163 yards, 5.4 a carry, 2 touchdowns. They receiving games, as you can see, Morgan didn't throw for a lot, but, they had a couple receivers. Daniel Jackson, sophomore, He had 3 catches for 58 yards. They also have Dylan Wright. He had 5 catches for 57 yards in a TD. So, State did their thing, but Big Ten play is one thing. It's going to be a 12-game playoff this year, I believe. A 12-team playoff instead of, I think it's 12 teams this year. Or at least they ain't decided, but it's probably going to be that. So we going to see how that works. Other games on the slate last night, the Citadel versus Coastal Carolina. Citadel got blew out, all right. Coastal Carolina puts up 52 to the Citadel's 14. Eastern Carolina is led by Grayson McCall, sophomore quarterback. He goes 16 for 19, 262 yards, 13.8 of completion with a touchdown. Running back Shamari Jones, 9 carries for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. They also had Reese White, running back, 7 carries, 62 yards for 2 touchdowns. And a receiver, Javon Healy, 6 receptions, 133 yards, and a touchdowns. Coastal Carolina looked nice, man. 22 ranked team in the country this year, so they definitely started off their year right. Defense was, I don't know. The Citadel really don't have a passing game. They held the Citadel quarterback to just 2 completions for 16 yards. Citadel got it going on the ground. They scored 2 touchdowns from a running back committee led by sophomore running back Jalen Adams. He went 16 carries, 100 yards, 6.3, So it was a nice win for Coastal Carolina. Weber State took on Utah. Utah ranked 24th in the country. They win 40-17. Arizona State, ranked 25th in the country. They took on Southern Utah, and they won 41-14. College football's college football going to be real interesting this year, all right? It's been a lot of talk about should players get paid, who should get paid, how they should get paid. They came up with the NIL, name, image, and likeness, which basically says, a player can, make transactions or make moves off the field that allows them to get paid off their name, image, and likeness. Depending on, now everybody wants to know what's the specific rules and all that. I think it's open to interpretation as long as you're not gambling on the game. That's basically how I break it down. However you can get paid off your name, you grown. You in college, you at least 18. In America, at 18, you grown. You're legally responsible for yourself. So, if the universities and the rest of the NCAA can get paid off these guys, then they shouldn't have to wait to if they might make it to the pros to get paid off their name, image, and likeness. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of these guys can get paid really well in college, and they don't even have to have a professional career. All right? They can get paid enough off college and do something else, with their earnings. Finish up their majors, graduate, open their own businesses or something. This is a good time for new entrepreneurship, But it's gonna be interesting with that. Also, really the biggest news out of college this year is the SEC greed. All right. And I'll just call it the SEC greed because the SEC think they run everything. All right. This is the Southeastern Conference, led by Alabama, LSU, Florida State, all these guys down here, Georgia, Texas A&M, and a few others. And now, starting in 2025, it'll be Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12 and joining the SEC. Oklahoma and Texas are the biggest schools in the SEC. In the Big 12. But the Big 12 as a conference has lost in its steam or its cachet over the last several seasons. The SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten have all grown and, grew in likeness. O-State, one of the mainstays out of the Big Ten. Clemson, in football, one of the mainstays out of the ACC. Alabama, one of the mainstays out of the SEC. So the SEC got those guys to come over. I don't know. It was kind of quiet. Nobody really knew these talks was going on, which is amazing how you've talked to two of the biggest schools in the conference for the last 3-4 years about bringing them over to a whole different conference. And nobody knows about it until y'all make it public. It was a lot of hush money going on, man. No offense. It was a lot of hush money going on, all right? You can't tell me you ain't pay to keep this shit quiet from other schools, man. It's either that or other schools heard it and just didn't believe it. I mean, it's probably something you wouldn't believe. Hey, y'all run this over here. Why would you leave your own throne to go join somebody else's throne? But, as it stands with NCAA and recruiting, when you are in a certain conference, your recruiting is limited to certain areas. Unless a recruit personally seeks you out from a non-recruit area of yours. Other than that, you can't just be going over there stealing guys from other areas, basically. And I feel it. The SEC, they got Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. Speaking on states, Louisiana, and they added Texas A&M about 7 to 10 years ago, I want to say, and they had some parts of Texas. But now adding Oklahoma and Texas, you can get basically the whole state of Texas that get your recruiting, and you add Oklahoma. So literally the southeastern portion of the country, the SEC got. I think they would probably love to be able to get guys from the West Coast, from the Midwest, which is, it was talks that they was trying to recruit Clemson in the Big Ten. But Clemson in the Big Ten ain't Oklahoma and Texas. Why would they leave their own throne to go join somebody else? ACC at one point ran basketball, so I don't think they want to break that up. They even took over the Big East. It used to be a Big East. The Big East joined the ACC, which I think is how the ACC got its cachet up even more. But so after the SEC made that move, all right, bring Oklahoma and Texas, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC up to one, and formed an alliance. Now I need y'all to understand, TV contracts, new deals started like 2023 for the NFL, for the major league sports, and like 24, 25 for the college sports. And it's going to be a lot more players involved, a lot more networks. It's going to be additional teams that's going to be in each league by that time. So money is going to be plentiful coming out of the pandemic. People starve. They gonna want their sports. We sports fans. We all want our sports. But the Pac-12, the Big Ten, ACC formed an alliance. They haven't got down into specifics of their alliance, but we can, on the outside assume it's going to give them recruiting rights all over the country. The Big Ten is literally the Midwest. The ACC is literally like the East Coast, from virtually Maryland up, over, Tennessee and up. Big Ten has, like I said, the whole Midwest. The Pac-12 virtually has the whole West Coast. The only thing that's kind of stopping those in betweens are the independents, BYU, Notre Dame, Army, Connecticut, schools like that. So this alliance really just upped the game because it's 5 major conferences, right? All right, the 5 major conferences: Big 12, ACC, SEC, Pac-12, Big 10. All right, but now with these mergers, these conferences are going to get bigger. So you're literally talking about a 2014 alliance, with the ACC, Big 10, and Pac-12. You're talking about now a 16-team, 14-team, 16-team, I think, SEC. This leaves the Big 12 like, okay, Sun Belt conferences, Conference USA, American Athletic Conferences. What are these conferences going to do? I personally foresee more mergers. I can see some independents get in. I don't know if an independent would want to join the SEC because everybody's money hungry. I've always been a big uh, encourager of Notre Dame joining the Big Ten, a big encourager of UConn joining the ACC. Because they was in the Big East, and when they took away the Big East, UConn were independent. BYU, I think, should have always been a part of the Big 12. That's just me. All right, but I foresee a lot of mergers. Also, I'm gonna shoot an idea out. All right, my college football fans. With these mergers, I think the playoffs should expand. There are a lot of colleges, um, and by the time people really start getting into college football season is over. A college football roster has about 99, at least 90 kids on it. Excuse me, 90 young men, 90 young athletes. Speaking on football specifically, um, I think they should play more games. I don't think the schedule should be longer. I think the playoff should be longer. So this is what I mean. Average college football team gonna play an average about 10 to maybe 12 games. They might end up playing 13 or 14 games if they end up going to the championship. All right. I propose a 16-game playoff. All right. You get your 5 majors, right? Like I say, I want to see some more mergers. All right. But you say the top 2 teams and the top 2 teams in the conferences get to go in. All right. And I'm looking at it as, in my perspective, all right, Oklahoma, Texas joins SEC, the alliance with the Pac-12, Big Ten, and ACC. Then I'm thinking the Big 12 could merge with all the independents. All the independents could just merge with the Big 12, and that'll murder. That could be one more conference. All right. The Athletic American Conference could merge with Conference USA. All right. The Sun Belt, the Mid American Conference, um, you know, they can all merge. You still got 5 majors. All right. Everybody play their games. Then you have a playoff to get. What I'm saying is, you do away with the conference champion. Each conference has either a north or a south, or east or a west. All right. You just need to win your division. All right. So you get to the playoff. Playoff is 6 teams, right? The top 2 teams, they get the bye. 4 teams they play. The winner plays the 2 top seeded teams. The winner of those 2 teams those 2 games get automatic bids into the 16-game playoff. All right. The 16-game playoff only bring like 4 more games if you win. So the whole key is you have to win. All right. Outside of that, conferences want to get more exposure. They want to highlight some teams. You want to be able to get in depth. When you get into playoff settings, the commentators, the announcers, they can get more in depth about the teams. All right. Ultimately, yes, a school could end up playing 17 games. Right. That's virtually a regular season in the NFL if they go professional. The NFL is up to like 20, 21 games now, including the playoffs. It's like a 24-week season, 25-week season now. So, conditioning is everything. All right. College football is a hot commodity. Why shouldn't we get to see college football through January? What's wrong with that? I think that's a good idea. All right. But as I say, the top 2 teams in the major conferences, with all the mergers, they automatically get their automatic bids. Boom, name me in. So that's 10 teams. Then the other 6 teams can be picked. All right, whether they do the BCS or however they want to do it. All right, but those 10 slots are earned slots. Whoever earned, they in, and then you get 6. So that way, say teams that was, they won by nail biters or lost by nail biters. And, you feel like this team probably should still be in. They can still get in. You know, as the saying goes, as you can say, one lost teams or 2 lost teams, woody why depending. All right, cool. But that playoff, I feel like that little conference playoff that'll help. You got 90 kids on the roster. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to call them kids like that because I don't mean no disrespect, but they young adults. You know what I mean? You got 90, bro. You got the NIL. Now, you can probably stop from keeping guys red-shirted too long or, guys that's not red-shirted but just not playing. Give these guys a playing time. Make these coaches use your whole roster. You know what I mean? Get creative, all right? You might need to save a guy and preserve a guy for later on in the season knowing your team going to end up at the end. Should do that. All right, but this is what I'm proposing, 16-game playoff, 16-team playoff, more mergers, top 2 teams out of their conference playoff tourney go to the big games. You know what I'm saying? Now you can really do it with the bowl games, all right? That's 8. It's 8 teams, so what that's? Yeah, 16 teams, so there's 8 games, 4 games, 2 games. Ain't it a lot of bowls? Now guess what? Specific bowls can go with specific conferences for real. All right, you can have bowl games for the playoffs. So ultimately a team could play in like 2, 3, 4 bowl games. I think that's a nice factor too. Like, oh shit, I got to play in the Tecmo Bowl and the Citrus Bowl and the Sugar Bowl all in the same year. That might add. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're going to keep the top bowls as the final games. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Spice it up, add something to it. But that's, that's my college football talk, man. Let me know how y'all feel about the college football, all right? I'm a transition sports. Right now, I'm going to talk a little basketball. Let's talk a little basketball, all right? The NBA, as I say, preseason is coming up. Teams making moves. Guys want to play. Arena's going to be filled again. But we have movement. All right. DeAndre Jordan, the center, who was a lot responsible for recruiting a KD and a Kyrie, is now an expendable. He has been dealt to the Pistons along with 4 second-round draft picks and about $5.25 million. 5.75 million. All right. And they got sent to the Pistons for Jahlil Okafor and Sika Doumbia. So DeAndre Jordan on the Pistons. But it's reported that they're just going to buy DeAndre out. And DeAndre is probably going to sign with the Lakers. Talk about insult to injury. So you leave the Nets and go to the Lakers. Talk about insider information. All right. Jahlil Okafor and Doumbia going to the Nets is interesting because the Nets are doing something that LeBron never did, and I have to give them credit. They got their main veterans, and the rest of their guys are young guys. All right? Cam Thomas, a young guy. Well, I ain't going to say young guy, but they're playing with younger guys than expected. Jahlil Okafor is still a young guy. Cam Thomas, a young guy. Javon Carter is a young guy. These guys are going to get good minutes playing with these Nets. Joe Harris still there. They traded Spencer Dinwiddie. But playing with playing with KD, Kyrie, and Harden. they're gonna be all right. But Bron never played with young guys. He always played with the older guys, unless the young guys were raw. So I think that's something different that they playing with younger guys versus trying to find a whole bunch of veterans. They just looking for skill sets to match their skill sets so they can run different sets. LaMarcus Aldridge. All right, we know LaMarcus, one of the best scoring big men in the league when he was with Portland. Left Portland, went to San Antonio, disappeared. Got bought out last year, went to the Nets. Then had to stop because he had a heart condition and stopped me from playing basketball. They say he is fully recovered from said heart condition. He's able to return back to the NBA to play. And he will be going back to the Brooklyn Nets on a little over $2 million deal. I want to say 2.6 for 1 year. So again, LaMarcus Aldridge is a 5, but he could play the 4. Well, he got 4 skills. Passing, shooting, back to the basket. Not necessarily a blocker per se. Definitely more of a 4. But, he just play some 5. With KD right there, when you got KD, you can do a lot of things with your front court. Also, trading, speaking of trades, the Boston Celtics making moves. They traded third-year guard Carson Edwards and 5th-year guard Chris Dunn to the Memphis Grizzlies. And they will receive big man Juan Hernan Gomez in return. I guess that makes sense on the strength. They brought back Al Horford, and then they re-signed Robert Williams. Hernan Gomez is more or less going to give you what Al Horford's going to give you. He's just a little younger. So the way they want to play is kind of being seen. We got to see what they do when they back up center side. Maybe they bring Horford off the bench. I doubt it, but it's possible, though. He up there in age, but he make a lot of money when he come off the bench. Jason Tatum playing the 3, Jaylen Brown playing the 2, Marcus Smart presumably playing the 1. They got Peyton Pritchard, and they brought over Dennis Schroeder. So no need for Edwards or Dunn, actually. They still got Neesmith down there, a shooting small forward. They still got Romeo Langford, Tremont Waters. So they got, but what they gonna do with their big man situation? Memphis, on the other hand, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Memphis lightweight the update game this year. You gotta let me pull up this Memphis roster right now, because in my opinion, they're gonna make a lot of noise in this West. All right, getting Steven Adams. Desmond Bain is going to be more of an impact this year. Dylan Brooks, two-way player, is going to be more of an impact this year. Brandon Clark, and they got Jared Culver. Jaren Jackson is going to up his game. Xavier Tillman is probably going to play more. Daniel Otoru. They led by John Morant. I think Memphis going to make a lot of little noise this year. The West is definitely going to be highly competitive. The East as well. I think for once, you could say that the East is better than the West right now, but the West is still really good. So this is going to be an interesting NBA season, all right? My Cavs, they going to do something, man. I don't really know. It's talks of them trying to get Ben Simmons, right? Let me be the first to tell you. I don't want Ben Simmons. I don't want Ben Simmons because I don't want to give up my pieces that I have. If I could get Ben Simmons and only give up Kevin Love and some draft picks, then I would take Ben Simmons. I would take Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't even trip. I just would. I start Ben Simmons at the 4 and let him still play the point guard. Nah, I'm lying. I'm lying. If we did get Ben Simmons in that scenario, which is highly unlikely, Ben Simmons will most likely play the 3 and Okoro will come off the bench. Just because Ben Simmons is going to give you more of what you expected from Okoro, defensively and offensively, facilitating and setting screens and stuff. And then that would, legitimately give reason to be able to stick with a small backcourt because your front court will be humongous. Ben Simmons, Markkanen Allen, or Ben Simmons, Mobley, Allen. It'll just be tall out there. But breaking up Garland and Sexton is just something I'm not on board with. Right? I've said this before. If it's me, Sexton could get 5 years, $125 million for me, $25 million a year. I think he's earned that. And even that contract still putting 28. No, Colin like 22. That contract put him at like 27. More than still young enough to still get a max deal if his game ups that much and get a $200 million contract or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? He'd be still more in line for that. But I do feel like he should get more than Jared Allen. No debate. He should get more than Jared Allen. But I want to see what Garland and Sexton do in year 2 of being healthy. Okoro, year 2 of playing with these guys. Year 2 with Allen. And I really want to see how much of an impact Markkanen and Mobley could be, as the other guys in that rotational big front court. At least the big man, the post play. Keeping Love. If Love gonna play, man, keep him. Fuck it. I'm gonna pay him $30 million and you gonna give me what I need for 20 minutes a night. You can come in and just score, bro. I'm literally looking for you to give me 20 points in 20 minutes. This is it. Your job is to come in and create offense. This is it. You'll be the number 1 target and everything when you're in the game. We're going to feed you the ball. All right? Get your shots up. Get your shots up. We got Ricky Rubio for you. Get your shots up. Hopefully, you take off in October and look so good that by the time November comes, we got multiple offers for you. That would be ideal, right? But let's see what type of shape you come in. Let's see you condition, because that's the real issue. You don't work out. You probably work on your game, but you don't work on your body. You're a basketball player, got to work on your body, all right? But I like the Cavs team as it is. I don't really think Kobe has to make a move. If he does make a move, it has to be for an athletic wing, preferably that can shoot and play above the rim. That sounds like a star in this league. I've been a big advocate for love for Wiggins. That's just me. But we go see. He's talking to us get Cam Reddish still. If I don't have to give up next year's first round pick, I can give up a first round pick for Cam Reddish. But if Atlanta want my 22 pick, no. If you want the 23 pick, we can talk. If you want the 24 pick, we can talk. But if you want next year's first round pick, ain't no conversation to be had because you don't have the cap space to re-sign Cam Reddish in the first place. You just paid John Collins. You just paid Trey Young. You just paid Clint Capella. You pay the younger brother Bogdan last off season. You pay Gallinari. You got Herder. DeAndre Jordan is going to be about due for some money in like 2 seasons. You don't have the money to resign Cam Reddish. So in all actuality, Atlanta really doesn't have any bargaining leverage. Cam Reddish is going to be disgruntled by November. It's only one basketball. Where is he getting playtime at? Who's you sacrificing playtime for? So at some point, Atlanta is going to just need to be able to get rid of that contract and that player for potential future assets. And if they wait longer, now I give you 2 second-round picks because you waited. I had a future first for you, but you tried to play crazy. So since you played crazy, I got 2 seconds. All right? You're going to need the cap relief anyway. Go ahead and take these 2 seconds. Matter of fact, if we re-sign Cam, if we do a re-sign and trade, right, I give you a first. I need a cap-friendly deal. He can't get collar money. Can't get $100 million. He can get LeVert first contract money though. I give you like $15 million a year. You can get 3 years for like $60 million. I mean like $45 million. I'm tripping. 3 years for like $45 million. I give you $50 million. You can get, matter of fact, you get 51. I give Cam 3 years, $51 million. All right. Maybe I have to give up a Chetty. I mean, I wouldn't be mad, but I don't think this year we should be giving up Chetty. Chetty giving them vibes like he gonna come out and be killing this year. So that's just all with for the Cavs. No on the Ben Simmons trade. Just no. Yes on the Cam Reddish trade if it's not involving our 2022 first round pick. And I don't really think there's nobody else available. But I will say I am pro LiAngelo Ball. So if the Cavs felt like they wanted to bring LiAngelo in for the training camp of preseason, I would recommend it. I think LiAngelo playing with this team would actually be a nice piece. And it would actually add to some, visibility for the team, especially if LiAngelo could play. I mean, he could play, but if he could, crack rotation, that's cool. Jalen Hands, I would like to see him come back as the young third point guard. That would be awesome. We signed Taco Fall. I elaborated a little bit on this earlier before on a previous show. Make sure you check that out. Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz podcast. You can catch that on Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcasts. Catch a previous episode when I was talking about it. But, Taco Fall here, a defensive guy, add to the trees that we got. It's a non-guaranteed deal, so, we'll see how that play out. But before we close the show out, man, I'm gonna talk a little bit of football. NFL season is 6 days away. A lot of interesting storylines, but it's really about predictions. All right, who's going to end up where, doing what? Who the Super Bowl favorites? Who the conference favorites? All right. God, excuse me, I need that drink of water. As far as division winners, right? As I said, I got the Browns in the AFC North. I got the Browns going 13-4. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers following up at 11-6. I got Baltimore Ravens at 10-7. And I actually got the Bengals at 7-10. As far as The AFC West, I got the Chiefs coming out of that division. I believe the Chiefs are probably going to go 13-4 as well. With definitely a good chance to go, 15-2 just because of their division, because of their roster compared to the rest of their division. But I got them at 13-4. I actually have the Raiders winning 11 games at 11-6. I also have the Broncos and the Chargers finishing at 9-8. Now it's possible either one of those teams could, they could do 8-9. One could do 9-8. One could other do 8-9. I just feel like they got a 50-50 team. The Raiders have a better offense. The Broncos have a better defense. But the Broncos have a pretty talented offense. The Raiders' defense is in question, but their division is kind of. Oh wait, I meant to say the Raiders. I meant to say the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Chargers and Broncos. The Chargers got a nice offense. Their defense is in question. They get Derwin James back. Joey Bosa's still there. They lost Melvin Ingram III. The Broncos, like I say, the Chargers got a better offense than the Broncos. The Broncos have a better defense than the Chargers. So I guess it'll play out to if the Broncos offense can outperform the Chargers defense throughout the season. But I just think those two teams are more kind of just 50-50 right now. I have the Raiders doing better than expected. I like the Raiders' offense, and I think their defense is going to play better because I think they could just beat the teams in their division. They're the one team outside of the Chiefs that show they could beat every team in their division. That offense is scary fast. A lot of weapons. David Carr gets, a lot of unnecessary bias opinion. But I think they finished that division second at 11-6. As I say again, Chiefs 13-4, Raiders 11-6, Chargers and Broncos both 9-8. The AFC East. This is where division gets lopsided. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to go at least 12-5. Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill. That defense ain't really nothing to be sleeping on for real. I just think they're going to go 12-5. I think the Colts. I think the Colts go 8-9 this year. No Carson Wentz. I think they're going to try to bring Carson Wentz back, bro. I just don't think he's going to be able to play. If Carson Wentz is able to play, I just don't think they get it done in year one. I got them going 9-8. I have the Texans and the Jaguars both finishing 6-11. Maybe one goes 5-12, the other one goes 6-11. 5-12, I say the Texans. I think Urban Meyer can win 6 games in his first season, just as a sleeper. He gonna have his guys play hard. They gonna get better each week. But I think Urban Meyer can win 6 games in his first season. I think David Culley, new head coach in Houston, I think he can win 6 games in his first season. But I wouldn't be surprised if he only get 5. The Texans have a better team than expected, but everybody gonna be playing hard this year, and I just foresee some bad breaks. Oh wait, And I mislabeled that division. The division with Tennessee, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans. That's the AFC South. Again, I got the Titans going 12-5. The Colts going 9-8, and the Texans and the Jaguars finishing 6-11. Maybe the Texans might finish 5-12. As far as the AFC East, which is they're ran by the Patriots for years. Now the Bills have taken that step. Miami is up and coming. The Jets look pretty nice for the most part. So outside of our division, which is the AFC North, I think that division could be real competitive. But I got the Bills winning at least 12 games. To be honest, the Bills is a team I think could win 14 games, bro. I ain't gonna even hold you. The Bills got a squad, man. And they've been playing together for a minute, and continuity matters, bro. I'm not shocked if they go 14-3. I'm actually not shocked if the Bills finish with the best record in the conference this year. I'm not at all. Um, I have, but I got them at 13-4 at least. But I actually might give them a chance to go 14-3. Belichick with Mac Jones, the way he coaches, the team he has, I still think Belichick only goes 10-7. Miami with Tua, I think they go 10-7 or 9-8. I know a lot of people want to see Miami take a leap this year, but being this Tua first full year, um, I just don't think it happens this year. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Love them Bills, man. Them Bills got a squad. But I see, I just don't see Miami getting it done this year. I do see them and, the Patriots battling it out. The Jets made a lot of acquisitions this year. I think the Jets will be competitive, but I got to get the Jets 5-12. They could go 7-10. I just think the Jets will go 5-12. I think that's the mark for them. Excuse me, y'all. I think that's the mark for them. Wilson will probably have a good year. Zach Wilson, he'll probably have a good year. But the weapons around him is still questionable. Corey Davis gonna do his thing. But I just got them going 5-12. All right, so as this recaps, all right, for the AFC East, I got the Bills at 14-3 actually. I have the Patriots at 10-7. I got the Miami Dolphins at 10-7, and I got the Jets at 5-12. I'm giving the Bills the number one seed in the playoffs in the AFC, followed by the Browns at 2, and putting the Chiefs at 3 because I feel like the Browns are going to win week 1, and that's going to be the tiebreaker game. They give Browns the number 2 seed. And then the Titans at 4, which leaves the Raiders in at the 5th seed. And then it's just going to be the Raiders the Steelers in at the 5th seed. Maybe, it might be a coin flip between the Raiders and the Steelers, but I got them at 5 or 6, and then it's just going to be a fight for the 7th spot between Baltimore, the Patriots, and possibly, Miami, Denver, and the Chargers. as far as the NFC goes, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know. I don't have no idea. I'm gonna tell you why I don't have no idea. All right. Let's start with the AFC East. All right. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's start with the NFC South. All right. Is that the South or is that the North? It might be the North. Is that the NFC? No, I think it's the East. Because it's the East. NFC East with Philadelphia, Washington, the Giants, and the Cowboys. The NFC East. All right. This division alone is crazy. All right. Who the hell knows who's going to come out of this division? Who knows? But Washington has the best defense in the division, even though Dallas has the best linebacking core or sack. I ain't gonna say linebacking core for sure because Washington has the best defensive line. Philly defense ain't really all that bad though. And then the Giants arguably can have the best defense in the division if they all play. You know what I'm saying? Like the Giants been working on their defense, so their defense not really scrubby. You know what I'm saying? Xavier McKinney and Jabril Peppers and the safeties in that secondary. You know what I'm saying? They got Leonard Williams on the line. You know, the Giants got a nice little squad. Who knows who's gonna do what? But in my opinion, because Ron Rivera's stubborn, and I don't know why he think that. Don't get me wrong, man. I would love to see Ryan Fitzpatrick have an incredible year. You know what I'm saying? But he just too wishy-washy. All right? He got some weapons over there, but he don't got a real running back. Which is I don't understand how Le'Veon and Todd Gurley is available and you don't pick up one of them, knowing you're a two running back system type of guy. You got Gibson that you can use, you got McKissick, but those guys aren't bruisers. You could bring in a Gurley and let him be your bruiser to aid a Fitzpatrick. I think Washington has a good chance of going 10-7 because I don't believe in their quarterback play. I think 10-7 is their ceiling because of the rest of the division is pretty nice. It's going to be hard for me to see anybody in this division run a division. I think all of them might finish 3-3 in the division. You know, maybe even 3-4. All right. This is a competitive division because they all have an inconsistency or something that just I don't know. But I think Dallas actually comes away with the division this year. Don't kill me. But I think Dallas actually should be able to win 12 games. Dallas should be able to go 12-5 this year. Period. Um, they have the most lethal offense in the division. And they have the best linebacking group in the division. They should win 12 games. I think they struggle in their division, but I think outside their division, they're going to surprise and win some good games. Washington, I have at 10-7. If Fitzpatrick has a good year, they could contend for. I think they could win 11 games. But Fitzpatrick just too inconsistent for me. and without a bruiser back, without a gritty, 3-yard getter consistently, it's gonna be hard for me to take them in that division, even with that defense, especially that defensive line. But I think Montez Sweat and Chase Young, both 12+ sacks this year. Both. I wouldn't be surprised if they both got 15 apiece this year. It's gonna be real. Philly and the Giants. To be honest, y'all, I can see both of these teams going 8-9. I don't think they're far behind the other two teams, but I don't think they're there yet. But I think Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants both finished 8-9. And that's what I got about that division. All right, the NFC West. You got Arizona Cardinals, LA Rams. You got Seattle Seahawks, and who am I missing? 49ers, San Francisco 49ers. Interesting dynamic with the 49ers. You see a previous show I had Arizona Owl on here. He broke down the NFC West with his predictions. He has the LA Rams at 13-4. He has the 49ers. He got the Cardinals next at 11-7. 11-6. 49ers at 10-7, I believe. I think he got the Seattle Seahawks at like 8 wins, 8-9. Doesn't sound unbelievable to me. I'm gonna run with his predictions. I trust Arizona Owl and what he thinks and what he knows about his division. So I'm gonna run with his picks for the NFC West. For the NFC North, all right, Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit. That's going to be an interesting division this year. What will Minnesota do? The Vikings are kind of like the wild card in this division. They have Brashad Breeland and Patrick Peterson playing cornerback over there. They bring back Harrison Smith. The Vikings can make some noise this year. The Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers gonna play possessed this year, bro. He gonna play possessed. Um, I got. To be honest, everything in my bones want to give the Packers a 14-3 record, but I'm not. I got the Packers going 12-5. I just think their defense is going to lose them a few key games at the wrong time, which just fuels more Aaron Rodgers' anger, and he want to leave. Just bottom line. I got them going 12-5. I actually have Minnesota going 11-7. 11-6. I think Minnesota will play really well this year. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith Jr. Kirk Cousins is gonna play pretty well this year. That defense is gonna be a lot better this year. So I have them going 11-6, but I would not be surprised if they went 12-5. I would not be surprised. I got them 11-6. I got the Chicago Bears going 9-8. Chicago starting Andy Dalton is a smart move but I don't think it's the best move. I think Nagy should have got creative with the offense, used Justin Fields' running to his advantage, and then drew his play action passes off of that, especially with David Montgomery. So I just think they go 9-8 this year. That defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, but the inconsistency with Andy Dalton is going to have them struggling at the beginning of the year, and I think they pick it up at the end of the year. I mean, they could go 10-7, but I think they're going to go 9-8. You want me to be real with you about these Lions, bro? I think the Lions probably going to go 1-16. I'm going to just be honest with you, bro. And I feel bad in saying that, but I just don't see where the Lions have an advantage over anybody anywhere. I don't think the offense is going to play terrible. I just don't think they're going to play good enough. I don't think the defense is going to be terrible, but they're going to get handed to them, especially on the ground. I think they're going to give up a lot of yards on the ground. And then the play action pass is going to kill them. And they ain't going to have no answer for that. That's just me. 2-15, 1-16. That is the prediction I got for the Lions, bro. I just don't think nothing of the Lions right now. And I think it's going to take them to get the number one pick to get it back popping. So this leaves us with the NFC South, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, the Carolina Panthers, and who am I missing? Hold on. That's crazy. I done did all those, and now I can't remember that one. Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so off Tampa Bay division alone, they got 6 wins. New Orleans may have a chance of beating them. I think the other 2 can make interesting games. But bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I think Tampa Bay goes 15-2. Reigning Super Bowl champs, bring their pieces back. I think the only thing that derails that is injuries. I think Tampa Bay finished with the best record in the league. I think they go 15-2, bro. I don't see where they lose more than 2 games by happenstance. It's gonna be hard to go 17-0 in the regular season. Tom Brady's gonna try it, but he's gonna lose a game that's gonna up his motivation. And then he might, they gonna lose a heartbreaker, which is gonna fuel him for another Super Bowl run. I think New Orleans finishes second in the division. Outside of Tampa Bay being so nice, I give New Orleans a 10-7 record though. If Jameis gets hot though, it could go to 11 and 12 games. But I think they go 10-7. Surprise, the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers go 8-9. I don't think that's a bad season for them. It's not a playoff season, but I don't think that's a bad season for them. I think they go 8-9 though. But these Atlanta Falcons, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Atlanta might be the most high scoring, might be one of the high scoring teams. Like they offense gonna look nice. But I think Atlanta lose a lot of close games this year. Like, I think they play a lot better this year, but I think they lose a lot of close games due to secondary issues and running back issues. Uh, they go 5-12. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they went 3-14. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go 3-14. I'm gonna take the 5-12 off. I'm just gonna go 3-14. Uh, you know, Atlanta and Detroit are victims of a great conference. I think in the NFL, everybody gonna be competitive, man. It's just some got a little more than others. So just to recap that, Tampa Bay and the NFC West, I got I mean the NFC South, I got the Rams go number 2. Uh, the Packers 3 in the division, and then the Cowboys 4th in the division. Uh, After that, you got Minnesota making the playoffs, and I don't know, man. Oh, Minnesota, Arizona, and then this is gonna be a fight between San Francisco, Washington, and New Orleans. Uh, so as far as Super Bowls, I think let's go conference championship game. Uh, I got Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. In the NFC, I have Cleveland versus Buffalo. In the AFC, and this is probably people gonna look at me and say, "Fine, you tripping." But I think we about to see some nostalgia, bro. I think we're about to see something that the NFL wanted to see way before Art Modell pulled that BS with Jim Brown. And you're going to see Green Bay versus the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. I think Aaron Rodgers has one of those dream playoffs and dream seasons. I definitely see him, Brady, Mahomes, and Baker, and Josh Allen all fighting for MVP nods. But I think MVP goes to a position player this year. Uh, Maybe a Tyreek Hill, uh, possibly a Odell Beckham, depending on how instrumental he is to the Cleveland winning, which I think is going to be very big. Uh, Bro, if Derrick Henry go over 2,000 yards again, bro, I think Derrick Henry might get it. But I think it goes to a position player this year. I think with the 17th game, it gives a quarterback a chance to, probably try to break 6,000. I don't think this is the year to break 6,000, and I think if a quarterback does break 6,000 this year, it'll either be Mahomes or Jameis. It'll be Mahomes, Rodgers, or Jameis Winston. Yeah, I said that. Mahomes, Rodgers, Jameis Winston. I think Baker can flirt with it. I think Josh Allen will flirt with it. I don't think he'll go over it, but I think he'll flirt with it. And I think that's more priority on Josh Allen because I don't really know how Singletary is going to perform for them out that backfield this year. But yeah, man, that's what I got on the Super Bowl side. All right. If I'm gonna have to pick the MVP this year, I'm probably gonna just pick Tyreek Hill as a returner and a receiver and a runner out the backfield. I think Tyreek Hill could win MVP this year. Most improved player. My most improved player is Donovan Peoples. I think it's gonna go to Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's going to be considered the most improved player from his numbers and how Dallas will finish this year. I got Odell Beckham and Jadeveon Clowney as top for comeback player of the year. But I think Odell might win it because he might have MVP considerations. The Russian title, I got Derrick Henry for the Russian title, bro. Um, a lot of me wants to give it to Nick Chubb, but because he got Kareem Hunt, he don't got to. But I got Derrick Henry for the Russian title. Most receiving yards this year, Tyreek Hill. Best tight end this year. Uh, I'm gonna go David Njoku, Cleveland. I know I seem Cleveland bias right now. I think David Njoku, and I think he's gonna be a candidate for most improved player too. Uh, But I think David Njoku is going to surprise the league this year as a tight end and what he brings to the Browns offense as well. I think Patrick Mahomes, though, I think either the Chiefs, the Cardinals, or the Browns finish with the best offensive line in the league. Uh, and then as far as sack leaders, I think Myles Garrett breaks the sack record this year, bro, or he flirts with it, but I'm giving Myles 20 sacks. Adding Jadeveon on that other side just freed him up. I'm giving him 20 sacks, bro. I think because of 17 games, he might hit 26, but I'm giving him at least 20. Uh, Tackles, the leader in tackles this year, I'm going to give to Devin White in Tampa Bay. I think he clears 200 tackles this year, easy. Uh, yeah, I think he might, him and Miles gonna fight for defensive player of the year. Uh, so these my predictions, man. This is what I got for you. All right. I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports with your boy DeeTrynt. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, share, comment. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.